Thanks for joining us for the stories of Kcymaerxthaere. And today I want to talk about the installations themselves. And you've seen images of them in the stories we've told so far, but it's these installations that I think are the most important way we share the stories of Kcymaerxthaere. Of course, we have the website and some publications and what I'm doing right now. But that physicality and that honoring of the overlap between the parallel world and our linear world is really kind of the heart of it all. Now, before I go any further, I want to answer a question that I would be shocked if hadn't come to mind, which is, why is that word so hard to spell? Well, it's just the name of the parallel world, so we don't have much choice about that, but I can explain where it came from. So here it is, Kcymaerxthaere. And that word comes from two cognate words. The word chimera, which is the true physicality of a planet or a universe, and an xthaedra, which is a shape with almost an infinity of dimensions or sides, infinity minus 29 to be exact. And there's even some conflict around those missing dimensions, and that will turn up in some of the stories that you're going to hear. The story I'm going to share today, though, is of Jumomeesta the Monolith. And it's one specific installation, and it tells the story of this incredible monolith. It's like Gibraltar or Uluru or El Capitan, just really this huge mass of stone, maybe a couple miles high. And it's right near what we call Milbank, South Dakota, in the linear United States. Today, of course, in our world, it's very flat. It's the prairie. In fact, it's the prairie not far from where Little House on the Prairie unfolded. But many years Jmeestre, and Jmeestre is a cognate word that means sideways in time. So not many years in the future, many years in the past, but many years sideways in time. It was this monolith, Jumomeesta. And the thing about this monolith is that it was very, very striking. Obviously, it came up out of the landscape, but it also had a very sheer face. And it was impossible to climb. It was practically polished. But right in the middle, maybe a mile up, a mile below the top, there was a ledge. And not only was there a ledge, there was a bench carved into that ledge, carved by the Jmeestre Triplets. How did it get there? It was impossible to climb to. And it turned out that this place, this ledge, was also a village. Village, there's the word. Has another one of those snevlefs, the line that goes like this, or I guess it goes like this for on your side of the camera. And a village is the place where the dreams of imaginary creatures come to life. So if you are fortunate enough to be in the dream of an imaginary creature, you can visit a village, and this one in particular. So that gets a little bit tricky because not all imaginary creatures like being called imaginary. So they really kind of learn to control who they dream about, or, so they don't want to get into that space. But then some of the imaginary creatures, like the krfshells, really own being imaginary. And they're the ones who are usually responsible for the visitors that are up there. So one of the first was Terrad Slemt Surphell, who was one of the great xthaedra pattern scientists. And Surphell was the one who observed that this monolith was a couple miles above sea level, and the land there was at sea level, but literally sea level. The height of the land changed according to the tides 1,000 miles away. So when you were up there, you could see it ripple. So people talk about waves of grain, but on top of, or I should say beneath those waves of grain, the land itself had these beautiful waves and undulation that would surge back and forth. And you could even see the marks of the tides of dirt at different times of the lunar cycle. Other fortunate visitors spoke of seeing Amory Frontage himself as he led his band. Remember, he was the architect of the Parisian diaspora, as he led his band to what we call Iowa, to found the 4 Parises there, which ironically led to the destruction of Embassy Row, but that's another story. Or the folks who said they saw the Urushiol on their way to the Battle of the Platte. The thing is that when you were on that ledge and you were observing, you had to enjoy it for all it was worth, because you had no preparation for being there. You had no expectation. You were there by beautiful, wonderful surprise, And the moment you drifted off to sleep, you'd find yourself where you had always been. Now, as you look at the shape of that monument that we installed, pay attention to it, because in our next episode, we're going to talk about a language in which that shape has a very specific meaning. Thanks for joining us, and Shof Keppel Poets.